everyone's been out on Trey Lance. No one's really wanted him in the NFL. The team that drafted him didn't want him. The team that traded for him didn't want him. But now you got a team that wants him, at least for a year, and it's Jim freaking Harbaugh, who is a damn good coach and is a bit of a quarterback whisperer. He's gotten the most out of Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. Got J.J. McCarthy drafted. Does Jim Harbaugh's interest in Trey Lance change your perception of Lance at all? And do you think the 49ers should have been interested in him like Harbaugh is? That's not one thing.
I'll go first. No. Like, if for everyone's saying, I think Trey Lance, he could be a good backup. The guy's never going to be a starter in the NFL. Like, first of all, for people saying he's never had an opportunity, he's had an opportunity to prove in preseason that he's a good quarterback. But then he lost to Sam Darnold. And even this past year, he signs with the Cowboys and then has a great game, then throws 5 interceptions in one game. Like, no, the 49ers should have not signed Trey Lance. No. No.
I mean, I think it's funny that you're talking about, like, you thought, like, we were going to talk about Trey Lance less, but something tells me we're going to talk about him less for him being on the Chargers compared to going to, like, Canada, because he would play in Canada. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, he would play in Canada for the Chargers unless something drastic happens and Herbert goes down and then Heineke goes down. Like, come on, man. Like, he's not touching the field. The Niners kind of ruined his development, I think. They didn't really give him, I mean, like Maj said, like he had a chance.
That's one thing I'll agree with, yes.
He never really had a true shot to develop. We took him like wanting a young, cheap quarterback that we could build around, but that wasn't what Trey was. Like, he needed development. Like, he only played 2 years in college. Like, he looked okay in college. He looked good.
1
like,
year. Basically, 1 year.
Technically 1 year because the COVID year. Like, I mean, a lot of us wanted Trey, including me, but I wanted him under the assumption that we were going to like let him develop and build around him. That never happened. So
no, I was excited about Lance too, and I kind of thought like Nick, like, well, I had misgivings about him, but if Kyle likes him, like if Kyle's in and Kyle has a vision for him, then great. That sounds phenomenal because I covered Harbaugh and he was like that. Like, he saw something in Alex Smith when not a lot of people did. And no one did. I mean, when he took the job, I remember Matt Barrows being like, so Alex Smith's your quarterback? And Harbaugh's like, yeah, Alex Smith's really good. And he kind of spoke that into existence. And then he did the same thing with Colin Kaepernick, who was a 2nd-round pick who played in a pistol gimmick offense in freaking Reno, Nevada. Yep. And Harbaugh had that guy thinking he was the best player in football.
That's how he's always been.
Yeah, I think Harbaugh could help out Trey Lance, but he's not going to be a starter. Like, Trey Lance is going to be a glorified backup in the NFL. Like, he's never going to be a starter. If he's a starter, I'll buzz my hair off.
I mean, Grant, let me ask you this: Do you think he took the deal with the Chargers? One, to put obviously, like, I mean, after taxes, he's going to put probably $3 million plus into his bank, right? Obvious reasons why you'd take that deal. But outside of that, do you think he took that because he thinks that Harbaugh could give him some confidence, give him a couple, maybe a couple things to think on, and then go play in the Canadian League or the UFL, and then try and bring it back?
He should. I think he's more looking at like what's happened to Sam Darnold. Like, Sam Darnold goes to a good organization for 1 year, doesn't really play, but then other teams are interested in him. He gets an opportunity and he plays well. I think Lance is excited to be with the team that wants him, and with a quarterback who has a track record of like developing, I mean, like coach who has a track record of developing not just quarterbacks but mobile quarterbacks. Like Greg Roman isn't a great offensive coordinator, but he's one of the best offensive coordinators when it comes to using and running quarterbacks. Like, have them actually running. He coached Lamar as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think, like I said, Jim Harbaugh is going to make Trey Lance probably a better quarterback, but not a starter. I think
that's fine. That's fair.
He should have went to the CFL.
But what I just want to say, I feel like if I were Lance's agent, I would want him to be with Jim Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's the perfect coach for a quarterback like Lance, who's still young, but has been mismanaged and maybe has lost confidence. And I think Alex Smith was very similar. Now, Alex Smith didn't get benched like Lance, but he was really seen as a flat out bust, and he had fans yelling they want Carr, and he was benched for freaking stiffs like Troy Smith. And it took a coach like Harbaugh to sort of say, no, this guy really is the guy who was drafted number 1. Let's give this guy a chance and let his talent come through. I don't know if Lance has it. Like, Lance might be a total fugazi, but man, I do think this is the best possible situation for him in the NFL. And if it doesn't work here, then yeah, you should go to Canada.
100%, man. Come over to Canada. If he came here, I could actually watch Trey Lance.
So who's your local team in Canada?
The Elks, Edmonton Elks.
That's such a great name for a Canadian football. So what are the different names? You got Rough Riders, Elks.
Well, no. It used to be the Edmonton Eskimos, but we can't do that. And then
true. Because that's like an ethnic thing.
Now it's the Elks. We got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Saskatchewan Rough Riders, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Ottawa Red Blacks. I might be forgetting something.
I want to say one more thing about Lance before we move on, because I think people don't want to hear about him anymore. But what I do want to say is, it's so clear to me that the Niners, Kyle Shanahan, never wanted him. And it's a shame that Lance had to get drafted by a coach and a team that didn't want him. He wanted Mac Jones. That's why Mac Jones is here. It's not like Mac Jones has done anything since he left Alabama to get the Niners, interested. I mean, they were interested when he left college, and they're still interested now. And my best guess is that when they traded up and when it started getting leaked that Kyle wanted him, there was so much fan blowback that someone high up, probably Jed, said, we're not taking Mac Jones. Take someone else. And so Trey Lance was like a fallback option that they never were really into. And that's exactly how a guy gets, guaranteed to fail. Yeah. Maybe there was some bizarre parallel universe where Lance is drafted by a team that wanted him and had a vision for him. Like, I just can't feel. Look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts isn't that great, but he was drafted by a team that wanted him and had a vision for him, and they're getting the absolute most out of him. And
Grant, I think
we want that for young quarterbacks.
I think if I kind of agree with your point. I think if they liked Trey Lance, then they would have maybe even started him over Brock Purdy. I think they saw Brock Purdy like, okay, we're gonna give this job to Brock Purdy. They didn't really give him a chance, and I think that if they wanted him that bad, they would have given him a chance. At least
I don't think it had to do with not wanting him. I think they did want him, and that's the reason why they drafted him.
And they traded up, yes.
I just think he maybe didn't develop as quick as Kyle wanted to. Like, to me, when it comes to quarterbacks and receivers, like especially maybe even running backs, you could add to that. But Kyle's very much so like, figure this out at my pace, or you're getting left behind in the doghouse. And so, I don't think us signing Mac Jones says anything about us not wanting him. I just think Mac Jones is like a stable backup. Like, when you put Mac in, you know what you're getting. When you put Trey in, you don't know what you're getting, even though Trey's ceiling might be way higher than Mac. Like, at the backup position, that doesn't matter. Like,
one thing I would say though is that with Kyle, like if he said Trey wasn't developing as fast as he'd like, well, Kyle isn't a quarterback coach, and he doesn't really have any ability to help a quarterback develop, whereas Harbaugh was a quarterback coach. Yeah. He played the position. That's another reason I think it's good for Trey to go to a coach like that, because I do think there are very few coaches in the NFL who actually can develop the quarterback position. There's not that much time, and most of these guys are scheme experts, not necessarily quarterback coach experts. So,
you know what worries me about
Kyle Shanahan was in a rush.
What worries me about Trey is, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, when we drafted Trey Sermon, for example?
Yeah. Same draft.
And I liked Trey Sermon coming out. Okay. I actually liked the pick because I'm telling you right now, if you go back and watch him at Ohio State, he played free and he played like he wasn't afraid. When he came to the NFL, he played like he was afraid. And that's the same vibe that Trey Lance gave me. When he goes to run the ball, it looks like he's afraid of contact. When he's throwing, he looks like he's afraid to make a mistake. And then he ends up making all of them. Both those players are the same player, just different positions.
But to me, I felt like Alex Smith was like that young Alex Smith. Maybe you guys don't remember 2006, 2007.
I was
Alex
1
Smith,
year old, so no.
There was so much pressure on him. He was the number one pick. He was the heir apparent to freaking Steve Young and Joe Montana, and Aaron Rodgers was going freaking crazy on the Packers, and he was just having this really awful start to his career, and I felt like he was putting extra pressure on himself, and somehow Harbaugh was able to clear his mind and make him confident. So that's
And he has some
enough
good
Trey
games.
Lance for one show. But I just
Yeah.
thought it was cool. Like Harbaugh. And one more thing I want to say about this. Don't you think that Harbaugh is petty enough and is still pissed that the Niners moved on from him, that he would like to be able to show Jed, hey, look what I could do with this quarterback that you guys gave up on. Look what I can. Don't you kind of
I
miss
don't
me?
know.
I could see
Don't
it.
you kind of miss me? I mean, you got
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, and he's all right, but he's not me.
I miss Harbaugh.
Yeah.